Good morning, everyone. This is Be'ilui Nishmat Ishti, Aliza Faiza, Dr. Salima Yosef Naim. Should be the other way around, but there you are. Now, today, I want to cover a subject which I've been partially covering, but I want to go deeper into it. We till now have said a lot of brachot, a lot of tefillot, with all our hearts. But those brachot and tefillot are to do with ourselves, our families, our community, but also all of mankind. And of course, we have to consider that what is our duty? Is it just for that, to give words, or is it also to take action? And I already said we're the ambassadors of love. So what does that really mean? Now I want to tell you a story about the son of the Chofetz Chaim. Joined a yeshiva in Europe now, very famous man, the Chofetz Chaim. And he joined the yeshiva, and he was one of the ramim, that means the teacher who's in charge of a whole group. And they used to have tefillah early in the morning. And for a whole week, he came very late. And of course, everybody was embarrassed, didn't know what was going on. In the end, the Rosh Yeshiva came to him and said, look here, I mean, it's not good. It's not a good example. I'm surprised. Why do you do that? You should really come on time. He says, I get up on time to come in time. But there's a lady living near me has got 8 children, and she's by herself most of the time. And, I hear the children crying. I hear what's going on, and she can't handle it. So I pop in, and I go and help her with everything. So as it's all quiet, and it's all organized. And then I come here. So Rosh Yeshiva said, wow, that's a wonderful thing, isn't it? But maybe we could all participate in helping. Tell me, who is it? So he says, it's my wife. Now, a lot of us come and do all sorts of things. But as I said before, we ask our wives, what did you do today? And there is so many things that we don't see. But it's also with our family and with our friends and all the people around us that we don't see. Here we're worried, we're at home, we're worried about ourselves. And I said before, they're all in the same storm, but we're all in different boats, different situations. People are lonely. And again, I mention it, but I want to reiterate it. I mentioned it before, that each one of us have got to care also about other people, not about ourselves. This is the best thing we can do in our lives. And now I'm launching a campaign where everybody should spend a couple of hours a day just talking to lonely people, giving them comfort, therapy for them, therapy for others. But it's also living for someone else. That makes meaning to our tefillah. And as you know, with my wife, I sometimes went Friday night to the Beit Knesset here because I had to say Kaddish. When I got home, because she loved and was used to having all the tefillot, we'd sing and pray everything together again, except for Mariv. Because I also had that duty to do. I can't just think of myself as not a duty. I enjoyed it. And then another angle to this is that we should reach out to other Jews, to encourage them, to try to bring them close. I know we do this in the Beit Knesset. Even if somebody is not so religious or doesn't understand, we have patience and we help them. But let me tell you a story. Many, many years ago, I went to Hawaii for a conference, and I took my wife with. And at that conference, in the big hotel there, the Hilton Hotel, one of the towers, they've got a Chabad service on Shabbat only. And it's crowded, and I went there, and of course, I very well connected to Chabad. And afterwards, the rabbi came to me and said, look, how would you like to come home for us with me for lunch? I said, that's a great idea. He says, but I want to warn you, it can take 2 hours to get there. I told Alice, look, it's a walk. We'll walk on the way. You'll take it easy. You'll rest on the way if you need it, but it's there. Anyway, I didn't tell her 2 hours. We started to walk about halfway. She couldn't take it anymore, and she needed a cup of tea. She needed to drink something and rest. So I asked the Chabadnik, do you have anybody? He says, well, right nearby, there's a car showroom. And in that car showroom, I've got a follower, but he's open on Shabbat. Let's go into him. He'll give her a cup of tea. She can sit, she can rest and go on. So we went there. And I see a young man, and he's Peugeot agency. And we were talking, and I said, tell me, are you married? What's your life? He says, no, I'm single. So I said, why? He says, well, there's no Jewish girls here, and I would only marry a Jewish girl. And I don't know what to do, So I said, why are you open on Shabbat? He says, well, half my business is on Shabbat. I have to be open. I said, do you sell anything today? He says, not yet. I hope to. So, and there's sometimes that I don't sell anything. So I said to him, look here. I told him a story. I said, in Los Angeles, in Chabad there was a man who was also a follower of Chabad, but he was open on Shabbat. He sold Swiss Army boots, very special boots. And he also, the Chabad Rebbe asked him, tell me, why do you open on Shabbat? I mean, if you close, it would be better for you. He says, no, but I got to make a living. I just about make a living anyway. So he said, you know what? I will personally guarantee you that any loss you make, I'll cover it. Your accountant will work out how much you're making each year. And at the end of the year, with Shabbat, the place is closed, I'll make up the difference. But there's only one condition. You must put a big notice in your window saying that this is closed because of the Jewish Sabbath. That's all I want you to write. So he did it. On Monday morning, he comes there and he sees an officer with epaulettes and standing American officer, and he's waiting for him. The officer came in and said, good morning. And he said, I came here yesterday and I saw your notice. And that meant I could trust you. He says, we need Swiss Army boots. I am the buyer for my base. He ordered immediately 400 pair of boots, which is a lot. It's more than he sells in months. And he says, you know what? I'm going to call the other bases and get the buyers here. In a very short time, he was selling thousands and thousands of boots every month. It was incredible. And in fact, he closed his shop and he opened an office with a staff to handle it. Of course, naturally, the Rebbe did not have to fulfill his promise because he knew what he was doing. He only had to push the man over the edge. That's caring, sharing, helping other people to find their way in life. It's not only on Shabbat and business. It's everything, to bring people close, to invite people who are not religious to a meal. After all, we do it every year in our Beit Knesset and every Beit Knesset around the world, inviting irreligious people, come, eat with us. You're welcome. See what it's like. And it's an outreach. And outreach is so important. So I told him that story. And then I said to him, tell me, how much business do you do on Shabbat? He says, well, it helps him to make my living. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to guarantee you two things. If you close on Shabbat and put a big notice on, and it comes to the end of the year, and there's any difference in your sales, I'll make up the difference. Of course, Alice says, you crazy? You don't know how much that could be. I said, look, on this sort of thing, I'm willing to take a chance. I said, the other thing I'm going to promise you, every Shabbat, you're going to go to Los Angeles, which is not far from Hawaii, and you go there and you go to Chabad, and you'll pray there, and you'll have Shabbat there, they'll invite you, you'll enjoy yourself, and you'll meet a girl. This is the only way you can meet a Jewish girl. Well, a year later, I get a phone call from the Chabad Rebbe there. He says, I want to tell you two things. One, he just got married and he wants you to come. But he didn't have your phone number. And the second thing is that he did close, and he's done more business than he's ever done before. Now, you might say, well, that's taking a chance. But is it taking a chance, taking somebody into your home that isn't religious or doesn't know or wants to find the way? How often we do this with people who want to convert. Non-Jews, they convert, they're recognized by the local chief rabbinate or someone overseas, and many, many families take them in for 6 months because part of the training. To live with a family, of course, they help the family, they're au pairs, etc. But at the same time, they give them an outreach and give them a chance to come into Judaism. And that's really what we all need to learn. And I know I repeat it in other ways. But what is the point of saying all these tefillot? You remember the song with My Fair Lady? Words, 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 words. Why don't you say you love me? And this is what we must do. That's why I call it ambassadors of love. Because that's what we should be doing as a result of our tefillot. Anyway, today's blessing for today is that all of us should carry on being ambassadors of love at our home, our family, our community, and everyone in the world. That we should have a feeling and a love for everybody, and everybody will have love and good feeling for us. Have a great day.